Okay, this is kind of a spur of the moment video. I'm just sitting here in my living room, sitting on my couch. I don't have any special or fancy webcam set up or anything like that. Um, but I just had a comment on one of my videos talking about how you can't trust real estate agents. And I kind of sympathize with that. I can completely understand why somebody would feel like they should not trust anything a real estate agent tells them, since we are motivated in a lot of cases by the commission that we're going to earn by a closed transaction. So, with all that being said, I just want to clear the air here. I spent most of my life as a professional in the IT arena, meaning that I was a computer programmer. I ran my own business as a computer consultant. I worked my way up, and eventually, one of my clients just kept making offers to me that were just too good to be true, or actually offers I couldn't refuse, to quote a line from the old Godfather movie. They made me an offer I couldn't refuse. So I took a job as a manager in this company. And so that's been the bulk of my career. But I've been investing in real estate since 1981. And I got my real estate license in 2005, I think. And I've sold real estate as a sideline business since then. I retired from my computer career in January of this year, 2021, and decided to go into real estate full time. But the money that I make on real estate is really an augmentation to the money that I'm receiving from my various pensions, my investments in real estate that I've made over the years, and my Social Security income, what have you. Um, as a real estate agent, I'm not going to compromise the trust that I have built with people over my lifetime. I'm 63 years old. I have dealt with so many people in my lifetime, and I can honestly say that I have never done anything that I feel like it was dishonest and trying to cheat someone out of something. I don't know how else to put that. So if there's anybody who feels like I've cheated them over my lifetime, please let me know. I would like to know what it is that I did to you. But um, honestly, I feel like I've lived a pretty good, honest life. So, with all that being said, right now, if somebody comes to me looking for a piece of property and I can see some obvious reason for why they should not buy that piece of property, like let's say they have a boat that drafts 3.5 feet deep, and the channel that they're going to have to come through at low tide is going to be 1.5 feet. Well, I'm going to let them know that they're going to probably be playing the tides when they come in on that channel. They're going to have to wait to high tide to get their boat in or out of that that channel or that canal so that they can get to their dock. I'm not going to sit there and act like everything is all hunky dory and that they're going to have no problems and they should go ahead and buy that house. I'm going to let them know. And the reason I know that they're not going to be able to get in or out is because I'm a third generation Floridian. I've lived here almost my entire life. I moved away for a while with my IT career, I moved to Atlanta for a year and a half. I've lived in Michigan um, for a short time. I've lived on the other side of the state for a while, for about 4 years. But I keep coming back to the Tampa Bay area, and I have fished and boated in this area with my father, with my uncles, with various people since I was a little boy. I was born in 1958. So if I tell you that you're not going to be able to get into a canal, it's usually from experience. And if I don't know whether or not a canal or a channel or a bridge is going to be high enough for you or whatever the situation is, I'm not going to tell you that I know. I'm going to go and I'm going to find out. I might get in my boat and actually run up underneath that bridge and measure to see how high that bridge is at low tide and at high tide, because sometimes that makes a difference. Um, I know so many people who bought a house and then wound up having to change what they wanted to do as far as what kind of boating they wanted to do. They had a boat that was too big, would not make it through on a low tide, would not even make it through on a regular high tide. They had to wait for the extremely high tides that we have at certain times a year. Um, or they might be limited by the tides that we have. We have negative tides at certain times of the year. And even some of the really, really shallow drafting boats can't make it out during some of those tides. I always let people know, you move into this particular subdivision, you're going to be using this canal to access this particular subdivision. This is what you're going to be up against. Or if you live on this particular canal, there happens to be a turn coming into that canal where you're going to probably not going to be able to go out if the tide is below a certain level. That's just the way I am. I'm sorry. I can't. There's no way that I can tell somebody that is looking at a house that's going to be spending anywhere from $250,000 or whatever on up to $500,000 or $1 million that they're going to be able to get their boat in or out every time they want to go in or out. I'm going to give them my honest opinion as to what they're going to be looking at every time they go in or out. Now, there's a lot of people, they're very comfortable with having a boat that drafts maybe 3.5 feet, and they can only take it out during high tide. During low tide, they might go buy themselves a California skiff or go buy themselves some other kind of flats boat or even a kayak or something so that they can get in and out and do the kind of fishing that they want to do during those tides. Um, Becomes even more important if they happen to live west of Highway 19, where some of those bridges are pretty low. You come under there, the boat may only go under at low tide because the height of your boat is higher than what the bridge would be at a high tide. But then you might run into the problem that when you go under there at low tide, does your boat draft too deep? So those are the kind of questions that I try to help every client that I have answer when they're looking at a piece of property to move on to that's waterfront. Because I don't want somebody coming back later and telling me you sold me something and it's not exactly what I thought I was getting into. Um, and it's not because I'm all that. I'm all that. It's all because that ever since I was a kid, I was taught that a man's handshake, that's his word. It's as good as his bond. If I tell you something, that is what I believe to be true. Have I ever been mistaken? Yeah, there's been a few times I've made mistakes. But if I tell you something, I'm going to be pretty damn certain that it's true. And if I'm not certain, I'm going to try to find out, try to find the right answer, and let you know. And if I can't find the right answer, I'm going to tell you, hey, I don't know. I don't really know the answer to that. Why don't you come over? We'll get on my boat. We'll go through there on my boat. We'll try it out. Or better yet, if you can get your boat to the area, let's take your boat through there. I'll go with you. We'll put my GPS on the boat if we can, or I'll follow you with my boat and tell you what the depths are, because I got a pretty good depth finder on my boat. My boat's set up pretty good for being able to answer these kind of questions. So I know this is a really rough video. It's not very professional at all, and um, frankly, I don't know what I can do about that. This was just a spur of the moment response to a comment on one of my videos on my YouTube channel, and I just want people to make sure that when they buy a house on the waterfront, that it fulfills everything that they thought it was going to fulfill. In a nutshell, I want your waterfront dreams to come true just like my waterfront dreams have come true. If you like this channel, please click subscribe. Thank you.